Good morning, everyone. My name is Valeria Hernandez Sanabria. It is truly an honor to be here and share this meaningful moment with all of you. First, let me ask you something. Raise your hands if you know someone with an incredible talent. Someone who sings beautifully, draws impressively, or excels at a sport. I think we all know someone like that, right? When we think of talent, we usually imagine that. Something visible, that stands out, impresses, and receives a lot of applause. But now, let me ask you another question. Who has the talent to make others better? Not the one who sings best or the person that wins the most awards, but the one who helps others grow. The one that, often without recognition, lends a hand so a project can move forward. People that may never be the visible face of something, but make it possible for great contributions to emerge and serve society. That kind of talent rarely ever appears on stage, and yet, it might be one of the most powerful talents that exist. Interestingly, the word talent did not always mean what we understand today. In ancient Mesopotamia and classical Greece, a talent was a unit of weight and the most valued monetary measure, used to quantify large amounts of precious metals such as silver or gold. It was something that represented value, a lot of value. Over time, the meaning of the word began to change. It started to refer not only to something materially valuable, but to a person's abilities and qualities. But the original idea is still there, and it's really important. A talent is something worthy. I wish we could buy talent that way, but since we cannot, we must share it, because like everything precious, it's not meant to be withheld. In large part, this transition of the meaning of the word is due to a very well-known story. I bet some of you have already heard it. The parable of the talents. In this allegory, a master gives his 3 servants different amounts of talents before going on a journey. To the first one, he gives 5. To the second one, 2. And to the last one, only 1. The first 2 used what they received, put it to work, and managed to multiply it. But the third one, out of fear of losing it, decides to bury it and keep it hidden. When the master returns, he praises those who made the most of their talents. And he does not criticize the other servant for having less. But he does criticize him for doing nothing, because the problem was never having fewer talents. This story leaves us with a simple truth. Talents were not given to be kept hidden. They are intended to be put into action, thrive, and bear fruits. And maybe that's why the word talent ended up becoming a metaphor to speak about our proficiencies. Because our skills are also something treasured, but the significance is only revealed when they are put at the service of something even greater than ourselves. Today, I brought something with me. And I would like to invite 5 volunteers from the crowd to come here, please, and grab each one of the candles that are on the gown, please. Let's all imagine that this candle represents a talent. By itself, it gives a small glow, am I right? But what would happen if this flame is used to light many other candles? Suddenly, the room no longer depends on just one source of brightness. It fills with many. And just like that is how talent works when it is passed on to others. It does not diminish, it expands. And that's the kind of contribution I want to talk about today. Not the one that shines on its own, but the one who helps ignite the spark in others. Thank you so much for participating. You can go back to your seats. We often think that history only changes because of extraordinary people at the spotlight. But if we look more closely, we discover something different. Behind many of those moments, there were people whose talent operated in silence. People who did not seek acknowledgement, but made something greater possible. An example of this is Katherine Johnson. Some of you may know her from the movie Hidden Figures. For years, she worked as a mathematician at NASA calculating orbital trajectories for space missions. But her story was not that easy. She was an African-American woman at a time where racial and gender discrimination were part of everyday life. She faced constant prejudice and had to prove what she was capable of over and over again. Despite all of that, her perseverance and talent were really important and helped solve fundamental mathematical problems for space travel. When the world celebrated the historic journey to the moon, millions of people saw and praised the astronauts. But in reality, behind all that achievement, there was a huge team of scientists, engineers, and mathematicians whose knowledge came together to make that outstanding event in man's history possible. It was not the work of just one person. It was the sum of many abilities jointly that allowed the mission to go so far. And even today, there still are many challenges that need the same sum of and combination of talents and endeavor. One of them is in women's health. For decades, women have been excluded from clinical studies. For example, in 1977, the Food and Drug Administration from the United States recommended not including women in reproductive age in these kind of studies. In 1993, with the approval of the National Institutes of Health Revitalization Act, they just started promoting their inclusion. But it was until 2022 that an equal representation in these trials was mandatory. All of this and more have contributed to the current gender health gap. According to a report by the McKinsey Health Institute and the World Economic Forum, closing this gap could generate an economic impact of nearly $1 trillion annually, and could improve the lives of 3.9 billion women in the world. Although only 1% of research funding is allocated to female-specific diseases that are not related to cancer. An example that happened here in Colombia of the gravity of this situation is the case of Melissa Gaona. She suffered from endometriosis, a disease that affects 1 out of 10 women in the world. And yet, it takes from 7 to 10 years to be diagnosed. She suffered from this for many years, but her symptoms were attributed to many other conditions before getting the correct diagnosis. The pain got to a point where it was so excruciating that she considered euthanasia. All of this leads us to a very important conclusion. The progress we need does not depend on just one person. It depends on the joint work of many who decide to bring their talents together to find a solution. Because when people decide to combine what they know to face a real problem, the chances of changing history increase a lot. Although these examples seem a little bit distant to some of you, the same truth reflects much closer to us. Because the talent that transforms our lives most deeply is not always found in history books. It's in the people around us. In our family who support us constantly, in friends who push us forward when we feel like giving up, in teachers who believe in us even before we believe in ourselves. I want you to think of someone who has marked your life. Someone who contributed to your personal growth or helped you achieve something that was really important for you. Do you have that person in mind? Is there someone who wants to share who that is with us? Who is it?
Well, for me, it's my parents.
Okay, thank you so much. That person was probably not seeking recognition. They were just sharing what they had to help you move forward. Because the truth is that most of the times, it is precisely those people who end up changing the direction of our lives without us even realizing it. No one goes that far completely alone. We're social beings. We grow thanks to others, we learn thanks to others, and we also have the responsibility to contribute something to the rest of the world. I want to share a personal experience with you. I came from a school where English teaching was practically non-existent. When I arrived here, I started 3rd grade, I struggled a lot. It was hard for me to understand. Many times I feel like I was falling behind everyone else. But thanks to the support, patience, and commitment of all those who taught me, little by little, I improved. And I can stand here now and give this speech in English. But when I think about it, I realize this achievement is not mine alone. My effort and dedication matter, yes, but in reality, this attainment is the result of many people who share their time, knowledge, and trust with me, helping me ameliorate progress. Through my life, and due to minor circumstances, I have learned that consistency, those small, repeated actions that we often find boring or invisible, are what really makes big achievements possible. If I am here today talking about talent, it really is thanks to all of those who shared theirs with me. Starting with my parents, other family members, friends, and all those teachers who have shared their service vocation to educating us. Especially my Spanish teacher from 5th to 8th grade, Angela. She always believed in me give me her advice, and help me become a better person. Because we often think that the most important talent, it is the one that shines the brightest. But in reality, it is also the one that is shared. Eventually, we come to understand that perhaps the true purpose of talent is not just to stand out. It is to contribute something to the development of society. There's a saying, he who does not live to serve, does not serve to live. And while simple, it contains something yet profound. We all come into this world for a reason. We all have something to contribute, something to offer. The mark we leave on others says a lot about who we are. And because when talent finds an aim, it stops being just a skill. It becomes a force capable of transforming people, communities, and little by little, our entire world. Thank you so much.